future of gaming and professional sports.
And I have an interesting video I'd like to play for you guys. You're gonna recognize this man. I'm not gonna say his name yet. Let's have a look at this video.
My personal mission, not only in life, but here today, is simply to empower you, to empower others, to be happy. Today we have an extraordinary opportunity because we can reach about 1/8 of the world and change the world in one simple day. If I can empower you, or at least 1,000 of you today, in order to empower another 1,000 people, to empower another 1,000 people to be happy, 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 billion people, about 1/8 of this universe. 1/8 of the world can be empowered to be happy. There's nothing more important in life than to be happy. And I'm going to teach, through my journey, lessons of happiness. It's really simple, of how to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. My definition of happiness is really simple. It's the enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit, pursuit of your potential. And there's one thing that I know. Happy people don't have disease. They don't destroy, right? They don't have something. They're amazing. Happy people don't do bad things. Number one, you have to be happy to give it to other people. And if you're not feeling happy, then go ask for help. Ask for help. Ask somebody, can you please help me? This is what I need to be happy.
But today I came with expectation to like feel that energy today, because I just was like, if I could just get here to listen to your story today, you know, that would inspire me. And I just really want to say thank you, you know. That's why I came back, because it was just in me just to come back to at least and say thank you. You know, you might not have been where I'm at right now, but you know, your story still inspired me regardless.
All of you live in the world of more than enough, with me and through me. And so if all of us can live with gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication, if all of us can consistently, every day, persistently, without quit, enjoy the pursuit of that blessing, that potential, that truth, we can manifest everything we desire. And if I can empower you to be happy, to empower others to be happy, that's what makes me happy. Thank you very much.
My personal mission.
That was a powerful video. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're talking about Mr. David Meltzer. I would like to read out to the people who over here still don't know about David Meltzer, which probably are a few. I would like to read a small biography of him just to bring you all up to speed. David Meltzer is a legendary sports executive and formerly served as a CEO of the renowned Lee Steinberg Sports and Entertainment Agency, which was the inspiration for the movie Jerry Maguire. He is one of the world's top entrepreneurs, investors, and business coaches. David has been recognized by Variety magazine as their Sports Humanitarian of the Year and awarded the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. David is an executive producer of the Apple TV series 2-Minute Drill and Office Hours. He is also the executive producer of Entrepreneur #1 digital business show Elevator Pitch. David is featured in many books, movies, and TV shows, such as World's Greatest Motivators, Think and Grow Rich and Beyond, The Secret, featured on Netflix. His life's mission is to empower over 1 billion people to be happy. This simple yet powerful mission has led him to an incredible journey to provide one thing: value in his content and communication. That's exactly what you'll receive. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to put your hands together and help me welcoming on stage. It's an honor and privilege for me to be doing this right now, Mr. David Meltzer.
Well, thank you. So this is fun for me. So I get to talk about the future of gaming and professional sports, and starting my career in professional sports, running the most notable sports agency in the world, I learned one lesson about sports that's applicable to gaming, and it's that especially middle-aged people, they buy things on emotion for logical reasons. It's amazing what people will pay for and utilize their money with in professional sports particularly, and then understanding gaming beyond the collectibles and the signings that have made billions of dollars over the years. I think the number one thing that we have to look at in the future of sports is the revenue itself. We haven't seen anything yet. It keeps growing and it'll continue to grow. When I talk about making a lot of money to help a lot of people and have a lot of fun, the future of gaming and sports is probably the easiest and best way to do that. With the emotional aspect of sports and the amount of growth that we're about to see still today in sports, utilizing gaming. Technology itself will show you where that gaming will provide us the most revenue, and it's in engagement. People engage with sports because of the emotional connection, but you're going to see an exponential development in the engagement. I remember sitting with Mark Cuban, who owns the Dallas Mavericks. I was CEO of Samsung's first phone division in 1999. That's why I got hired into sports, because Lee Steinberg saw the future of sports in two areas, venture and technology. And I still see the future of gaming and the future of sports in venture and technology. But Cuban was going to ban cell phones from basketball. He thought that the cell phone would distract the engagement at a basketball game. Now, Mark Cuban's fairly well known for being a hyper-intelligent business person, and I think he would agree that the exact opposite is what's happening with technology, and especially with handheld devices. So if we're looking at the future of gaming and sports, think about all the things that we can do to enhance the engagement and the emotional attachment. So one, the information that is given us instantly without the latency that used to exist, which is one of the areas why gaming's taking off in professional sports, is that the latency between the gambling itself, the gaming, and the actual event was too far apart, so the integrity of the game would be exposed. Today, latency isn't an issue, so now we can actually pull or gamble by play. There's also the secondary market. So if you want to understand the future of gaming and sports, look at the stock market. Every single thing you can do in the stock market, mark my words, will be done in professional sports. So the secondary market, hedging, futures, options, every single capability that we have in the stock market will be mirrored in professional sports. And so the same type of investments. Now, I think one of the interesting things about the future of gaming is that with AI and with technology, we actually take the emotion out of it. And the reason is the analytics can provide us and run so many scenarios that we can create a more pragmatic way of gambling or gaming. And it's accessible to everybody. And so we can run through who's going to win the World Cup this coming year, which, by the way, will be in my office building, where in the United States we'll see the championship game. But you can increase the statistical success pragmatically in gaming simply by running scenarios and improve your outcomes. I'm really interested in how that's going to affect the emotional part of gambling and of chance. So it's an area to look upon. The regulation side, you can see obviously throughout the world is loosening because of the security side of being able to keep the integrity of professional sports, which has always been the only issue in sports with gambling and gaming, especially in the United States. All the different leagues, teams, and organizations were most concerned about the integrity of play. Would it be corrupt?
And today, because of that technology and because of the latency issue, which has been resolved, we now have a much more secure way of making sure outcomes are not fixed. Which reminds me, in the wrestling game, Hulk Hogan was one of our clients, and he used to always say, well, is wrestling real? And he said, wrestling's very real. It's just predetermined. And so it was actually a form of entertainment that was predetermined. These games are not predetermined, nor will they ever be. And now that technology and regulations allow us to know and have security, it's actually increasing the amount of gambling or gaming in professional sports. Looking at bots, for example, is another area for the future of sports. I think there's an extraordinary amount of revenue that will be generated by the best analytic bots. Take, for example, if we're now able and capable of gambling instantly on real-time sports, injuries, for example. Because there'll be much more interplay gambling, interplay gaming because of the polling aspect and the latency issue, it now takes injuries. So now you could have a medical bot, for example, that can identify an injury on the field as it happens and then already predetermine how long it will take for that player to come back onto the field at a high level of certainty. These issues actually become very relevant in sports and in gaming, because before we could only gamble on what? Basically winning and losing, and we didn't have the security that we have today of actually knowing that the outcome wasn't fixed or predetermined. If you're looking at investing in gaming and sports, the growth is going to be exceptional, but we have to look at, like I said, what is successful today in different markets, because it's just going to mirror, for example, the stock market is what I use. And so I look at a company as I invest in gaming at the skills, the knowledge, and the positioning of what's doing well today, what is stable today, and then what I think is going to be doing well in the future. And so if we can align the capabilities of a company, service, solution in gaming with what's doing well, what's stable, and what we think is going to do well, there's an extraordinary amount of return on our investment available for us. Sports, gambling, and one other profession are the oldest industries in the world, and they're not going to go anywhere. Now that we have the capability worldwide to access that information, that data, and gamble or game on it, you're going to find that we are pre-chasm in the future of professional sports gambling. The one aspect that we also want to look at, which is already seen to be a multi-billion-dollar industry, is the sponsorship side of things. Remember, in the gaming side, we're taking the emotion out of the gaming, but we also now can identify emotion when it comes to sponsorship. The biggest sponsors in sports right now are all gaming companies. No longer is it beer, cerveza. No longer is it alcohol, beverage, CPG products. It is gambling. If you look at every single arena, stadium, organization, league, their top-rated sponsors are gaming. Now, looking at that, you have to realize the opportunity for technology in sponsorship would be what? To identify the emotions of those watching it, not just in person, but virtually. And as we can now utilize technology in gaming, we are actually enhancing and amplifying our ability to get a return on investment, a certain return on investment in our sponsorship dollars. Sports and entertainment has always been one of the number one places for that type of sponsorship and endorsement. Now we have a different mechanism, which means what in gaming? Not only is it the teams, leagues, and organizations that we should look at, but it's individuals. And we see that already happening, where individuals who own a community will then be interacting within the context of that community, either to give advice on with analytics and their own color to their sport or specific success that they've had. But I see more of gaming and professional sports as a platform. So more and more companies are creating communities where you can see this from traditional TV to streaming services to all types of different social media platforms. They're utilizing past celebrity and entertainers, athletes, in order to enjoy or engage in the activity, and all not only have an initial bet, but secondary market on the bet, hedging bets. But you'll take the greatest athletes in your sports, for example, basketball. Imagine watching a basketball game with LeBron James and paying to be in that room, sponsored by a gaming company who is providing access to different types of bets or gaming within the context of that room. So as individuals, there's huge opportunities, unlike in a traditional way, collectibles and signings. We now have an athlete that could sit at home, make millions of dollars, sponsored with millions of dollars, and have millions of people viewing and participating and engaging with that athlete and providing a unique experience. Once again, enhancing the emotional connection that people have to sports, but also having the technology taking the emotion out of the gaming side of it. So it'll be really interesting to see how the emotional aspect of professional sports and gaming is impacted and affected by gaming itself in professional sports, because the gaming itself becomes less and less emotional, which then either detracts people from it or engages them more because they have a greater statistical success and chance, more in the construct of the timing and risk tolerance involved in a lottery. What makes the lottery so exciting? Very few winners. And I think you'll see gambling and gaming moving to a lot of people in that polling. So there's a company, for example, in Canada called 𝐂𝐤𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐭, which has a certified randomizer that allows people to win things instead of gambling itself, taking the statistical success where they then could each pay a certain amount of money to attend a high-end event, which leads me, as we finish up as well, that the future of gaming and professional sports relies on one thing: in-person events. Every time that we have more and more access virtually to certain games, the value of going to a Taylor Swift concert, going to the World Cup, the Super Bowl, the Masters, any of the Formula One racing, if you don't see the trend of live interaction, which then what? Enhances gaming. Because now that we have our ability to wager on our handset, the live events now take on an additional capability that becomes more emotionally and experiential. And because we have such access to so many different events virtually, the value of those in-person events are then enhanced. And to understand the content side of gaming, we have to go all the way back, in my opinion, to Shakespeare. So Shakespeare, a couple thousand years ago, said the whole world is your stage. Now, how he knew that, I have no idea. Because it really wasn't for him, but it is today. And so if we look at the future of gaming and professional sports, you have to realize the entire world is the stage. And right now, we're not accessing all of those dollars through sponsorship, gaming, content, media, all the different areas. Although it's in the billions of dollars already, whether it's esports, professional esports, or traditional sports, we have not seen the dollars that we're going to see in the next 5 years. And it's because it'll all be driven by the unique experience of going to something in person, which can continue to get extremely expensive, but funded by what? By gaming and sponsorship related to gaming, polling, fantasy, all the different aspects. And if you want to understand the future of gaming, understand human nature, study history. I study history of sports for one reason, because human nature never changes. I then study the stock market to see what capabilities in historical analysis people have utilized in order to effectuate gaming. And the stock market has so many different vehicles that have been through evolution enhanced. The exact same ones you'll see year by year, you'll see the exact same type of investment in the professional sports that you do in the stock market. I really appreciate your time. Anyone has any questions, I'll be hanging out next door. I'll be happy to answer those. But if you want to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun, I would pay attention and give attention to the future of professional sports, which is directly related to gaming now and will continue to grow, and so will the revenue from it. I promised Mark I would be done on time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was a really nice one.